My name is Richard Ring, and these are 3 good minutes. At least we hope they are for you on this day. You know, among the greatest confusions among those of faith and those of no faith is this: the will of God. Very important that we get our arms around this. The will of God for you, for me, for all people is, careful, because you probably haven't heard it this way, it's God's yearning, God's desire. God yearns for good in your life. God desires good in your life and mine. God is not a cosmic puppeteer pulling the strings on your life, some of them leading to all kinds of destruction. God does not cause suffering. God has been the one who always rejoices when life is full of joy for you. God weeps when you suffer, which all of us will do at some time or another in this life. You know, we don't need coaching when we rejoice. It just seems, hey, what a good time. We always need coaching when we suffer. Father Richard Rohr described 2 paths that suffering can take us down. A path that fills us with bitterness, that's true. One that fills us with resentment, that's true. And one that takes us down a path of blame. Or we can go down the path that softens our hearts to grow closer to God in the midst of what causes us pain. God never causes suffering. Can you write that down someplace? Suffering comes from being alive in this random and sometimes dangerous universe in which we live. God suffers when we do and is glad when we are glad. That is why God is worthy of worship. You know, there's a Jewish story that's been told for a long period of time about a couple who lost their son. They had unbearable grief, as you can imagine. Terrible grief. And so they wondered, what can we do to get rid of this terrible grief? And so they went to the rabbi. And the rabbi says, oh, I know how I can help you. He told them to get a cup of water from a home that has not had suffering and bring that cup of water to him. It was weeks later that they came to the rabbi with an empty cup. Did you not find a family with no suffering? They learned that everyone has something heavy in their life that they carry, something painful. They learned that there is no escape from suffering, and there is not greater blessing than we share together, and when we share together our losses, until that day that God's desires, God's yearning, which is God's will for your life, is accomplished in the midst of the inevitable suffering of this world. My name is Richard Wing. This is 3 Good Minutes.